Welcome, welcome, welcome to another fantastic episode of My Orgasmic Life. And today we're going to lean into a trauma-safe conversation, trauma recovery-safe experience and conversation about the holidays. I've been very woo, adventurous and crazy and wild lately. We're going to bring it down a notch around having a conversation about stress and holidays and anxiety. So for everybody who doesn't know me, welcome to another episode on My Orgasmic Life. I'm your hostess, Gaia Morrissette. I am a holistic sexual wellness specialist, a BDSM wellness specialist, a high priestess of divine sexual magic and elemental magics, as well as a pro dominatrix. And today's conversation, we're going to talk about the holidays and the stress of holidays. So here are the big ones, all right? First of all, I give you permission to let go of shame, guilt, fear, anxiety, worry, and stress. Let's just start there. Now, before I go into our topic, let's get you grounded a little bit if you're listening to this. If you're listening to this, it's because you're probably stressed out and you're all like, oh my God, running around with your head cut off. So let's just take a couple moments to take some deep breaths. So breathe in through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Now, there's a lot to be said about releasing with some sound. So let's do this again. So breathe in through your nose, deep breath, out through your mouth. And one more time. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale. All right. Now we're ready to listen to me. So over the holidays, there's a lot of extra stress. So here are where our stressors lie. Money, big one. Super, super big one at this time of year. The expectation of us spending lots of money, gifts, there's a whole bunch of stuff around that. And the next one is family dynamics, family issues. And then the third major one is relationships and intimacy and sex and love. All right, so those are the three big ones: money, family, and relationship. So let's start with money. All right. So one of the things that why we get so stressed out at this time of year about money is because we're expected to buy presents. There's this whole thing around presents and spending lots of money, and that, you know, the amount of money that you spend shows how much you love people. And so I want to give you another way of looking at it. Because even if you have a lot of money and you're quite financially abundant and successful, there really is no reason to go extravagant at this time of year. Because the truth is that it's much more enjoyable to give from the place of giving and genuine giving, not because we feel like we're obligated to do so, throughout the year. Okay, so that's one piece. And if you're like, but I can't, you know, I don't have any money, or I do have lots of money, how about looking at gifts that you're purchasing, or you're creating, or you're making yourself, or time spent? There's lots of possibilities of giving at this time of year that has nothing to do with having to buy something. And we've been taught to be in the vortex of consumerism. But ultimately, the holiday seasons is about reconnection and celebration as we go into the winter, so we survive the winter, for all of you that are in the middle of snow. Okay, so that's what I want you to think about around money. What is one thing or one person that you could take off of your list of buying something and come up with a creative space It could be like, hey, I want to, and creating, in a card of saying, hey, I love you and I appreciate you. And you know what? My gift to you this year is to spend some more time with you. So let's set up, a once a week, once a month, coffee time, or dinner time, or hanging out time, or phone conversation time, or video chat time. That is a huge, that's huge. Another creative gift is, I want to invite you over for dinner, and I want to cook for you. Or if your friends have kids, offer to, and if you like children, that's important, offer to, give them a night out while you babysit their kids. Like, there's lots of ways that you can support somebody by showing them that you care about them and loving them, and support them without putting output costs. All right, so let's take that pressure off. Let's take the expectational pressure off there. All right, let's move to family. All right, families. You gotta love them, but we each a little bit hate them. Families are complicated. Families are filled with drama. Families are filled with, dynamics. Some of them are fun. Some of them are not so fun. And so families really pull out the best and the worst of us. And if you don't have any family, because of life and circumstances and things like that, hopefully you've been able to create your own family and choose your own family, so that you are surrounded by people that you love unconditionally and love you unconditionally. Now, if you don't have that, then I highly recommend that at this time of year that you reach out to some, say, for example, some friends, and create some space there. If you aren't available, if friends are not available to for you, then another way, instead of dealing with family dynamics, is to reach out and be a part of do some volunteering, so that you can be around people and you can give back to people and you can be in that place of gratitude space. So those are some of my suggestions around if you don't have a family, how do you navigate that? If you do have a family, then this would be a great opportunity to start practicing your boundary setting. And if you're not familiar with how to do that, I have lots of podcasts on talking about setting boundaries and saying no. So please go listen and watch one of those. But here's a little just a tiny exercise. All right, because it's more complicated than this. But take one thing that normally drives you bonkers, okay? Drives you absolutely bonkers. Take a little thing, not a big thing, but a little thing. It drives you bonkers with your family dynamics when you all get together. And in that family dynamic moment, I want you to say no. So for example, if for years your mom has been making, or a family member that you go for Christmas dinner to has been making, say, this dish that has marshmallows in it, and you hate this dish and it's disgusting and you really don't like it. All right, so when it gets passed by you, just say no thank you and continue to pass it by. All right, just practice with one thing. And if you have the family dynamics where there's that one person that's like, oh, come on, try it. You love it. It's delicious. You eat it every year, blah, blah, blah. This is when you can see how brave you're going to get. All right. So you might be able to say, actually, I don't like it anymore. So I wouldn't go into, depending on what kind of where you're at, all right, your level of like practicing boundary setting and honest and difficult conversations. I would just start with, you know what? I've decided that, I don't really like that, and it doesn't make my body feel good. So I'm not going to eat it, but thank you very much for offering it to me. Start there. if there's a family member that, start with something really tiny, like, don't make it a big one. Start little, baby steps. This will make you feel like you aren't being bullied, and will start the process of healing of how to navigate differently with your family dynamics. So, just be aware that making a little change might have some consequences. Hopefully it's a positive one, but sometimes it cannot be. So let's start with really tiny. You got to train takes time to train your family. All right. All right, let's move to love and relationships and loneliness. So first of all, before I continue on our adventure, I just want to thank everyone who's, hanging out with me this morning. You're all incredibly fantastic, and I love you. So, mwah. All right. So, relationships, love, and loneliness. This is the thing that happens the most often around the holiday season, is that we feel like we're supposed to be, this is the time that we share when we're like in love, in a romantic, sexual, intimate partnership, love. And, there's a bunch of stuff about, getting the perfect gift and, building, this, deeper connection over the holiday season. And there's a whole bunch of emotional stuff that's attached to this time of year in relation to relationships. People will actually, and I've heard this from many, many friends, clients, people that I know, they will actually, instead of being single over the Christmas holidays, over the holiday season, they will put up with a crappy relationship, an unhealthy relationship, an unhappy relationship, just so that they don't have to be alone over the holidays. That's how deeply rooted it is within us. So I'm here to say that if you're in a place of, you've recently ended a relationship, you're single, there's this feeling of loneliness and being alone for the holidays, here's what we want to do. You want to reach out and spend some time with some epic friends. Don't spend the time by yourself. Maybe next year you can create the life where you like have really anchored in that you're never alone, because you always have your own thoughts, that you like being with yourself because you're fantastic, and you've done a whole bunch of work around just self-love and self-acceptance, and just totally enjoy your company, but that takes some time. Okay, so if you're not there, don't worry. Let's put a Band-Aid on it for this year, and then next season, you'll be ready for that next level. Okay. So for this season, take the time to be like, okay, you know what? It's okay that I'm not in a relationship. Doesn't mean I have to feel lonely. I love myself. I'm working on loving myself. I enjoy who I am. And so I'm going to spend some time enjoying me, some downtime enjoying me, number one. Yay. In a very busy, crazy society that we have, how often do we actually get to have downtime? So enjoy the downtime and do the things that you wanted to do. Read a book, watch a movie, play a video game, have a bath, whatever it is. Okay. So that's one way of enjoying the downtime and the lone time. Not alone time, but lone time. The second thing is to, connect to some friends that you really enjoy. Tell them, hey, like, don't wait for an invitation. Don't be like, actually ask them and say, hey, what are you doing? Can I join? Can I come over for Christmas dinner? Can I come over for Christmas Eve? Can I come over for New Year's? What are we doing for New Year's? Ask them to be a part, if you can be a part of their festive holidays. right? Or whatever holidays you're practicing. Yule, all of them. Okay. So make sure that you ask, because most people are like, more the merrier. Yeah, come join us. You know, most people are very excited to have you participate and come and explore and have fun and laugh and celebrate and all those things with them. So ask to be a part of that. A lot of times we are lonely because we don't ask to spend time with people. And fundamentally, we're choosing to be lonely by not getting our needs met. And getting our needs met is about asking for what we need. You know, if you're like, I feel kind of sad and a little bit alone, a little bit of lonely. Okay, well, I'm going to go hang out with some friends that bring me joy and make me laugh. And, you know, it's easy to be around them. I'm going to spend some time with some family members that I enjoy and it's easy to spend time with. I feel like I'm feeling disconnected from people. So I'm going to go and spend some time around people. Maybe I'll volunteer. Maybe I'll go to the movies. Maybe I'll go to the mall because there's lots of people there. I feel like I'm disconnected from people. Maybe another good opportunity of making sure that you're around people and, getting your needs met. Another piece of that feeling lonely is because of the lack of human touch and human contact. So that's another big piece of it. So beyond just being around people. So, ask some people in your life, I need a hug. Can you hug me? Most people are like, sure, I can give you a hug. Come on in. All right. Getting a massage, having somebody massage your body so that you can actually really feel touched, depending on, what kind of human interaction and contact you're craving. So some of that might be on a sexual level. If you don't have a sexual partner or partners, maybe hiring, to get an erotic massage, that could create some space for you, to feel connected and to be in your body and to have some pleasure, connecting in that way, reaching out to, some professionals that, that's what they do is they help to create human experience of connection, of intimacy and on the sexual realm. So there's lots of possibilities. All of those possibilities are open and available to you. So I lovingly invite you to realize you do not need to be stressed out. You do not need to feel less than. You do not need to feel lonely. You do not need to feel empty, because you have within your power the tools to get your needs met. Asking for what you want, dealing with some drama, family trauma and chaos and crisis, learning to start learning how to do boundary setting with people around you. As far as money goes, you know what? Let go of the putting yourself into financial debt because you feel obligated that you need to buy people presents. Instead, come up with creative ways to show them that all the ways that you care and how important they are in your life. That could be through words, that could be through affirmations, that could be through time spent. Like there's a lot of that could be with cooking and experience together. These are all the different variables and variable possibilities of that. And again, ask for what you want, ask for what you need. All right. I wish you a very merry, happy, easy holiday season. And I'm super proud of myself. I didn't even mention, anything overtly sexual throughout this whole entire podcast. I'm proud of myself. You're probably like, what? This is disappointing. I wanted to take a moment to talk about on a serious level about what's happening for people. All right. So that's it. That's all. for our conversation. A couple of things before you go. One, you can, if you're like, you need some support and you're struggling with how to deal with all of those things I talked about, then please reach out to me for some coaching, or maybe one of my courses. My online courses might support you as well. You can find all of that at succulentliving.com. You can find, for all of your BDSM needs and education, you can find that at empressgaia.com. And you can follow me on all the social media platforms to have engagement and interactions with me at Gaia Morrissette or Empress Gaia. And don't forget, if you're new to, if you haven't started following me and listening to me via podcast, so that you can download me and take me anywhere with you, start doing that. So you can listen to my delightfully soothing voice and my mischievously evil laughs. Like that one. It will bring you joy while you're stressed out in the world. So you can find me on all the platforms, podcasting platforms. We got Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio. I'm on all those, and you can also find it on my website as well. And then the last thing that's really important is to tell you that My Orgasmic Life podcast is sponsored by and brought to you by Tickle.life for all of your sexual wellness, education, and needs. Mwah! Have a deliciously delightful holiday season. Bye-bye.